Well, hello, kindred spirits. In this week's video, we're going to go over the bee and butterfly bird bath that I finally completed. Our new kitchen garden fence is installed, and I'm going to show you how I decided on the style with some fence inspiration, color and interior design choices for my stepdaughter's bedroom, and you know me, there's going to be a little bit here and there of some other things as well. Enjoy! Several videos ago, quite a few actually, I shared thrifting my bee bath. It's a bee butterfly bath. And the reason I call it that, and some of you may already know this, but bees and butterflies need water too. But the depth of a bird feeder, it's not safe for bees. They could actually drown. So I ended up getting marbles, and this is what you do to make it a bee or butterfly bath. All you need to do is add some marbles, and I thought these would be really pretty inside there. And this has been sitting outside until I found the marbles I was looking for. And I found these just at a craft store. I'm going to pour them. I'm going to fill this up with water. And then the bees and the butterflies can actually land and sit on the marbles while still getting a drink. So I'm going to fill this up and then put it back outside. And yes, it probably would have been easier to fill it with water once outside. I don't want it to go too deep. I want them to be able to sip water while they can still enjoy being on the edges. And there you go. And I think that's very pretty with that color marble. Our new fence has arrived and it's installed. It just has to be painted, and I'm going to show you it in a moment. But let me show you what has inspired me and how I came up with the idea. I'm going to take you on some walking tours and photo tours of just some of the many, many fences I come across here in New England. And I drew inspiration from some of these and also from our past home. Going through all my photos and videos, this fence in Connecticut helped me decide that I liked the higher fence. I got a 4-foot fence versus a lower 3-foot fence. You could really do any size you want when you do custom, but I did like the higher fence, and this one is also higher. And then when I saw this fence last year, I believe this was Walpole, New Hampshire, I was inspired by the fact that this garden was enclosed, but you couldn't get to it from the house. You had to walk outside. And I know I like reversed curves, like this gate, and also like the fencing at our Groton home. And then when I put up that little Halloween fall fence last year, my creative juices were on point. This is the type of fence that I'm looking for to enclose the herb garden out in front of the kitchen under the window. This was just a little bit of fun playing I did with my iPad. It doesn't show the gate, but it's going to be a gate that has a curve to it. And there's going to be one centered to the kitchen window, and then I'll have one to access from this side of the kitchen as well. After a rain delay, the fence crew is here. And we just did a little walk, since some of the flags were moved when the painters were here, but as he said, each panel is already made, so it's going to end up where it needs to end up. So what should be happening is we're going to have a piece of fence and then a gate that is centered with the window, and then more fencing, and then we'll have another gate over there. Yesterday, or last night actually, I came out and I did some weeding just because. But here's the thing, I haven't even planned this garden yet, because once it is done, I want to sit in here. This is going to sound crazy silly. I want to sit in here, measure it out, and then visualize what I want to see when I'm in here. It's very different on paper, so I know I want to have something centered. You know, there's going to be my center door here, probably around here, maybe a bird bath or something where the stump is, but I'll probably center it to the window. But that's what I want to see. I'm going to come in with a few more stones, and I'm going to make a bigger border, and then I'll add more pea stone along the house. And I just didn't do anything since I was waiting for the painters to finish. Now, unfortunately, this window, or fortunately, this window is being replaced, and they'll have to fix everything that was painted, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, now we have painters here. Okay, this is kind of crazy. Wow. Oh, nope, this is somebody else. I can't even keep track of who's coming and going here. So now, once again, this fence is unpainted right now. I'm gonna let it cure just a little bit, and then I'll be either doing myself a white stain, or I think in the quote they have that it would be done for me, but we'll see how cuckoo crazy I'm feeling. Land of the trucks. I can tell I'm gonna love it. So I know already, I absolutely love it. Love it. I'm a total power tool geek, and I have never seen one of these before, and I was wondering how they were going to cut these straight for the caps. Now I know. Now you know. Now, Sugarwood, as sweet as she is, always has a trick up her sleeve for almost every contractor who's been here, and she thought she'd have a little joke for the fence guys too. Not only did she show them that she is a very crooked house, but also she showed them that she has ledge around her perimeter. And of course, it was the hole that they needed to secure the swinging gate on. They had to get their sledgehammers, they got jackhammers, they went back to the office and made a post that had rebar in it, and 200 bags of concrete later, not 200 bags, 200 pounds of concrete later, they won. Sugarwood tried, but she couldn't fool them. Now, until the window on the second floor is replaced, because I believe they're going to have to bring in scaffolding and then repaint the part of the house, and then also the fence has to be painted, I won't be doing any plantings for now. But let me show you the fence. I just put the pansies in front of the door here because they don't want me to open it for about 24 hours. They used about 200 pounds of concrete because we had a piece of ledge right here. They had to jackhammer. It took them 3 hours. I was going to say about 3 hours to get this one post in. And then the other one, they hit huge rocks. I'm going to show you those in a minute. But I am so thrilled how this came out. You can see I have the dog leg here. I love that little architectural detail, but I only did that because we have the well pump. And I wanted this run to end outside the second single window there. So this was accomplished. I'm going to go inside now. This door is nice and sturdy. So one of my thoughts here is I'm going to come in with a path. This might be stone paths or pea stone. And then I'm going to come out, kind of bump it in a little bit and meet this area. I'll probably put potted plants along the pea stone area, but I don't want to do anything that's going to splash up. At one point, I will be doing a type of trellis, and I don't know the shape yet. I could do the fan, but I think I'm envisioning something a little bit different than your traditional fan. It might be just something simple. But I am so happy. But I'm thinking I am going to do some pea stone and then have something centered here, whether it's a sundial, a bird feeder. I can actually envision a bird feeder in that corner. But somewhere in here is also going to be a little bench or a stool or something for me to sit on and just enjoy this little getaway garden. And I'm not going to do a lot of plants. I'm trying to limit things, but there's going to be enough plants in here that I can sit and enjoy. And Ben and I sit out front a lot of times. You never know, we might sit in our little garden area here. Bring the Adirondack chairs in here. But it was worth the wait for sure. The painters are almost done. They're going to come back next week, I think, and finish the chimney and something else. Get my Sawzall out and take care of some of these stumps, these little stumps here. And this one has sprouted. This sprouted too, but I have to get rid of it because it's in the doorway. This Japanese snowball viburnum I'm going to let grow, but I'm going to keep it really tiny because these are invasive. The root system goes everywhere and they get so large. If you remember, they were over my head. So if I keep up with it, I'm only going to let it go about 4 feet. Let's see how that goes. If it doesn't work, it's going to come right back down again. Yeah, and doing the same. There's another snowball viburnum out the front here that I'm letting grow back, but I'm going to keep it small. I trimmed the barberry plant because this will be my little path in between these two. Now this rose bush, it is kind of in front of my arch in the window, but I think I'm going to leave that for now. I'm not touching that this year at all. Front's been painted. They got their music going. Yeah. In about 2 weeks maybe, it will be painted. And we did discuss, I'm going to let their guy paint it so I can do some other things. This is the easiest little project that I kept putting off, and I had a little moment, so I decided to grab the dried bee balm. I'm going to cut off the tops, save them in a jar, and then I'm going to repurpose the stems, bundle them up, and put them near one of the fireplaces to use as fire starters. Now, I mentioned I'm going to use this for potpourri in the past, and what I wanted to do is make it's a leather smoke potpourri. And I was only using the bee balm head of one, just as something to hold the scent. Well, I realized the scent of the bee balm is so specific and unique that is what made this potpourri scent so special. So I'm going to keep collecting these, but I'm going to make a batch for our home this year. And if I like it, I will be collecting a lot more bee balm from the garden. And then next fall, you might see some available on our online store. I do have a limited quantity of a custom blend that I've created for fall. We're still putting it together and assembling the containers, but I will share more on that and some other things a little bit later. It's time to tackle the bittersweet. I love seeing the stone wall against the flowers, and when the bittersweet, the fern, and the briars take over, it just, I think, takes away from the garden. So I'm going to tackle some of the bittersweet today.
Depending on what I'm working on, I have two different piles. Anything that's invasive, such as the bittersweet and anything else that will self-root, it goes straight to the burn pile. And when I'm weeding, anything that will just decompose and make a nice rich soil in the future, that goes to the compost pile. Much better. My apologies for the echo in the background. I was rushing to film. I forgot to put the microphone on, but at least there's no noisy contractors inside or outside. They're all eating lunch.
I hope this comes out clear enough because I'm just taking a video of my computer screen while it's quiet. Everybody must be on lunch break. But in this picture, right near the butterfly, is a vintage hat. Now, this hat is one of the many reasons I am going to be doing this periwinkle and a cornflower blue, kind of all the different variations of this colorway in Emma's bedroom. This vintage hat was my mother-in-law's, and we deconstructed it and I used it to wrap my wedding bouquet. And Emma has her childhood bedroom set upstairs. So to pay homage to my mother-in-law and her beautiful hat that was partially the something borrowed or blue for our wedding, I'm going to be doing similar colorway. Now I won't be doing the cobalt blue. Oops, my screen just changed here. Oops, that's not it either. Oh man, wait a minute here. This is when I was trying to come up with the color concept for the wedding. And I knew I liked cobalt blue and periwinkle and silver and white and green. And it's funny, at one point I even had a black and white stripe ribbon, and we're using blue and white for my stepson's wedding, which is not too far away. So we've been busy. But this is somewhat of the inspiration that I'm going with for Emma's bedroom. So I want to show you some things I've pulled together just from around the house and give you an idea of the colorway that I'm going to be doing. And I ordered a duvet and shams that might work with this room.
Well, I shared my little story about the inspiration for this color palette for Emma's bedroom and why. And it is a color palette that I have loved for a very long time. So the wedding that I did for us was 2016, and there's just a little printout for my own memory purposes, but the open sign I had in my store a long time ago was definitely one of the inspiration pieces. I shared that last video, was it, or 2 videos ago? My store color theme was the periwinkle and green, the tissue paper, the bags, everything was that concept. And I even have some store setups that show that. I'm gonna insert that here. This is a set I wish I never got rid of. I loved it, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I'll find it thrifting yet again. But I have some items here that I pulled together from around the house that are going to kind of give you an idea of where I'm going with this. Now, I have shared this little page of pictures before. I showed it this past winter, actually, of this year, and I wanted to use it, but I kept changing my mind. Well, I'm going back to it, and I'm going to do color variations of this cornflower blue, dusty blue, periwinkle. I don't want anything that's too powdery, too light in color. I want it to have some depth because I have dark furniture in there, and I want it all to balance nicely. So the piece of furniture that my mother-in-law had as a child will be going in this bedroom. It's up there right now. I have to do a little work on it. And it's hidden behind painter's plastic and tape, so I can't show you right now. This right here is a sham for a duvet set that I just purchased on Amazon. I really like the feel of it and the quality. Online, it had a little bit more of a periwinkle hue to it, but I think it's going to work. I'm going to carry it upstairs and see what it does in the northern light. It should change the color just enough. I think it's going to be perfect. I had this fabric already in hand. If something else doesn't work, I'm going to see if I can find something similar for a dust ruffle. But over here, this is another set that I found through one of my vendors, and I'm hoping the flowers in here have the same blue tone to them. because I also purchased a dust ruffle, and I'm hoping that will work to give me this little colonial cottage farmhouse theme that I'm trying to do here for her bedroom. I have the plates that I shared a couple months ago. I'm going to start collecting more plates. Those will go up on her wall. And this is a part of a set from my in-laws that they got for their wedding. Actually, I think it was for her parents' wedding. I want to say this, I'll have to check with Ben. I've said it before because I keep asking him. But this is an older set for sure, but it has the similar blue in it. And I'm just using this for some inspiration and drawing some color. This is what I showed last week when I was doing the painting. I have some jewelry that I tucked into my wedding bouquet. I'm going to insert a picture here. And then what else is going on here? Over here, this is something I thrifted quite a while ago. Some of you might remember it. This is maybe going to go in the bathroom because what I'm going to hopefully do is connect this periwinkle cornflower blue bedroom theme, which I'm going to do something, probably a neutral wall with color trim. And then in the bathroom, I'll probably do my greens so that I'm getting my green periwinkle. I even bought a little braided style rug that has these colors from the same vendor, just so I can see how it looks and maybe use it by the sink and the bathtub. But what I like about this, it has the black that I love to use in the house. It has the greens. It has the blue. The blue's off a little bit, but if I use this in the bathroom, it will be perfect from a distance. You can even see how it works similar in tone to this. So as long as my tone intensity is on, it's going to be, I think, awesome. And I can always switch this up as I'm working with it. But this is the color palette that I will be using in the upstairs bathroom and bedroom, using the old dresser from my mother-in-law when she was a child, inspired a little bit by the hat that she gave me to disassemble and use in my wedding bouquet, and then share it with Emma, her granddaughter, in this new bedroom makeover. I just came upstairs with the pillowcases. I love the color up here. One thing I wanted to show you, I left a little rough handwritten note. I want to see if this faucet can come off easy enough, this fill spout, to reuse. And then I'd love to see if I can get these handles and the back plates off and make them into hangers for robes and towels. So that's plan one. But I came in here with the fabric of the bedding, and I really like it. Now, one thing I didn't realize, let me put it in the sun here for you, turns a really pretty color. And it is more cornflower blue, I would say, but I like what it's doing in the sun. On the back, didn't realize it, the reverse side, which is usable, it's the color palette that we're using here in the house. It's a win-win. I am so pleased with these. So this is definite, absolutely. But I can't wait to get behind here so that I can finish my measuring and start looking for a bed. It's probably gonna be the same height as my office next door, but I don't want to assume.
To play off of both of us having some Scottish roots, I thought it would be fun to have a beautiful thistle style bed. Now, I have not even started the hunt yet, but I've seen them out and about, and queen might be hard. If I can't find one, I could always find a cannonball bed, and they are everywhere, especially in maple around us. But I'm going to probably hold out to find the right bed.
But I think we're down to, he just has to sand, and then we will take that fabric down. We'll probably afterwards. The windows, we were told, are coming in around June 20th. So this will all be done. And unfortunately, end windows, those are going to be replaced, but they're going to be damaging some of the painting that was just done. But our guys will then refix it and repaint it. So yeah, we're getting there, getting there. The tile guys pretty much all set, and the tiles have come in. So we're just moving along here. Now I have to work on the downstairs bathroom and pull things together. I've already selected some cabinetry doors. I can show you that actually. Let's go down, I'll show you the door. And this is the style of the door. Haven't chose color, but they're telling me 8 to 10 weeks. I should have done this a lot sooner. But I'm gonna see what the difference is of painted and unpainted, because if it's unpainted shipping faster, I might just go that route. And I got a lot over here. These are the garage doors. Well, not these exactly, because this is just my sketch, but we have doors like this coming in. They're being custom made for us. This is a long story. I'm gonna share the story a little bit later, how we had doors arriving, and the day before, Ben asked for a photo, and it wasn't what we ordered. So we started over, and that's why we decided to go with custom. So I just drew these out to make sure we liked it. We were gonna do a lot more windows and glass, but we realized that it was a little overkill with this particular building. And back here, I thought I would have a sample for you. We have Kindred Spirit mugs coming in. I'm waiting for the sample before I put it live on the website. And I also have some clothes coming in. I'm just waiting for the samples. Those coming in. And I was gonna put them in the Halloween box, but I think I'm just going to put them live for anybody who would like one.
I have been blissfully busy in the background. Now, this is a prototype label, so don't shame me, but this is a candle we've been working on for a very long time, and it's from one of our vendors, and I finally have some inventory in. I'm just waiting for the labels to arrive, and they're coming from very far away. So we finally picked a label, and I will explain more about this candle and its scent and why I named it once I release it. But I do have some other products that are also launching, some more mugs, some more t-shirts, and I love this line of Bella and Canvas. I just want to make sure that all of the text is where it should be once they're worn. But if you're on our newsletter or watch the website or watch the online store, these should all be launching within a week. I would love just to take a little moment and thank those of you who have ordered Queen Bess. To know how many of you have her in your home right now just blows my mind, and it makes me so thrilled. Now, I had some requests to do her without the mask. Now, I could do some, but I didn't like the look, and I can't take a photo of the exact Queen Bess and use it as this, because there are copyright laws for artisans, and I don't know who drew this. If it was an older age, I would have the right to, but I don't know, so I can't.
Okay, so here is something weird. The stinging nettle sign is gone. Where the heck is it? Where could it be? What the heck? So Ben and I came out trying to figure out the mystery. I'm gonna do a little walk first. So I don't know about this. So here's the stinging nettle. And you all saw where I had the sign. I was about ready to give up. We're walking, and Ben finally saw it. Wait a minute, somewhere way in there. What the heck? And it looks like it's stuck in the ground. That can't be. This is only days later. I have to go in there and check. I don't. So we're thinking that maybe the weed whacker grabbed it and flung it, but that's a long way. All right, so he found it. Yay, Ben. I'm gonna be able to put it back now. But oh my goodness, I thought it was a goner. So here it is back in place, and in the background, you can hear Ben and Willow playing. So I just found out that they were playing, and she almost grabbed one of the Ben Davis apple trees in her mouth and yanked it. This is the Macintosh tree. It's doing well.
and the Ben Davis trees. We have leafage. I still have to find out if we're supposed to trim some of the bottom here because there's a lot on the Ben Davis trees. Well, kindred spirits, the next time we're together, it will officially be summer. But right now, Willow and I are taking a little walk, stretching our legs, getting our blood flowing, and then we're going to head back to the house afterwards. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber or are not already a kindred spirit, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I hope to see you next week. Bye now.